Welcome everybody to another episode of B&B Hockey Talk. I'm Aaron Bloxel with my co-host, Mr. Matt Balzer. And today is our Around the NHL edition. Matt, why don't you start us off right away with some of the trades that just happened?
Yeah, so the Anaheim Ducks made a bigger trade today. They acquired Eric Goodbranson from the Pittsburgh Penguins for Andreas Martinson, who's an AHL player, and a 2021 7th-round pick. Goodbranson, he still has one more year left on at a $4 million cap hit, and that was a big thing for the Penguins. They didn't have to retain any salary in this deal. Goodbranson in 7 games. Has 0 points. He's been healthy scratched 4 times this year. Only has 2 shots on goal and has been averaging just around over 15 minutes of ice time. The big thing here was that Josh Manson went down with a lower body injury, a leg injury, and he had to be helped off the ice, putting no pressure on that leg.
So
they tried
that reunites Goodbranson and Delzato together, former Vancouver teammates, defense pairing. We've all shuddered, but now we can say as Canuck fans that we clearly won that trade, getting Tanner Pearson straight up for Eric Goodbranson. I'm 99.9% sure that we win that trade.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm just amazed that Goodbranson was able. Well, the Penguins were able to trade him because he's just so bad. And the Ducks, they tried signing Lucas Spiza earlier this week, but the Winnipeg Jets claimed him off waivers. So I don't know why they're just wanting to get all the bad defensemen on their team. Next thing you know, they'll be trying to sign Dion Phaneuf to a 1-year contract.
It's a possibility. He's still floating out there. So
yeah, but yeah, it's just I'm just amazed that the Penguins were able to move that contract. And another minor trade between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Florida Panthers. Florida sent Ian McCoshen over to Chicago, more of a depth defenseman. He's got 60 games of NHL experience. For Alexi Sorella going to Florida. He was part of the Calvin DeHaan trade that went over to Chicago. I think just because he didn't make the team, he didn't like his role. He only has 1 assist in 5 games in the AHL. But last year, he had 30 goals in 69 games with the Charlotte Checkers, helping them to their championship win in the playoffs as well. And just some players that signed over in the KHL that played in the NHL last year. Ryan Spooner, Magnus Piarvi, and Griffin Reinhart signed in the KHL. And Andrei Markov signed a trial contract with a KHL team as well. And Rangers prospect Vitaly Kravtsov is leaving the AHL. He has an opt-out deal that he can return to the KHL, so he'll be there for the rest of the season. In the AHL, he only got 1 assist in 5 games. It never really looked right there.
And the interesting part about that contract that he has, he's able to still be called up by the Rangers from the KHL if they wish to choose to do that. But yeah, these young guys, I mean, even Kaapo Kakko seems to be struggling a little bit, blaming himself, saying he's not playing very well. But, hey, the NHL is not that forgiving, and a lot of the rookies are seeing it right now. Just look at their, I think the rookie scoring numbers are quite low compared to what we're used to seeing. I mean, Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes are obviously probably the exception to that. And Victor Olofsson.
I saw Jack Hughes got another goal and assist so far today. So it looks like finally getting that first goal. He's slowly starting to heat up a little bit there.
Yeah, it just takes time for some of these young guys to break into the league. It doesn't happen as fast as some of them are expected to, only because it's such a big jump. I mean, I know a lot of young guys when they hit the NHL, they can't believe the preparation, the physicality of the people that they're playing with, and what their thoughts of a pro athlete were and how that defines it, right? But I know was there more signings as well, or?
We got 1 retirement, but that was it for the trades and signings. Dennis Seidenberg retired after 15 seasons in the NHL, spent between Philadelphia, Arizona, Carolina, Boston, Florida, and the New York Islanders. He played in 859 games, scoring 44 goals, 251 points. And the big thing was that he won the Stanley Cup in 2011 with the Boston Bruins.
Zdeno Chara's D partner.
Really good shutdown defenseman, blocked a whole lot of shots. And it was also really good internationally with Germany. He actually played in 60 games with the men's Germany team as well. So those were the big trade signings,
Yeah,
retirement.
I know we've got a bunch of injuries, so let's get onto those. Some big names
Ooh.
getting hurt this week.
Oh yeah. So let's see. Let's go with the biggest one right off the bat here. Mikko Rantanen is out week to week with a lower body injury.
Looked
He just
painful.
he's sort of just skating, and then he just sort of toe picked without anybody touching him, and his ankle went one way. And so it'll be interesting to see what exactly he's dealing with. If it's a high ankle sprain or something like that, because if it's like that, it could be out a little bit more longer term on that front. We also had Vladimir Tarasenko last night. He left with an upper body injury, possible shoulder. The team announced that he's going to miss at least the next 2 games on their road trip coming up here. Also, another big one, the Ottawa Senators were dealt a big blow. Colin White is out 3 to 5 weeks with a hip flexor groin injury, and also Artem Nisimov is out 1 to 2 weeks with a lower body injury. So those are two of the centermen that they rely on heavily that are out longer term on that front.
I know they brought up Logan Brown to be playing mostly with. I think their plan is to play him with Brady Tkachuk just because they played a lot of hockey together growing up as kids. So.
Oh, and I have to look it up, but Ottawa's already used a ton of players this year. It's sort of just a run of the mill because of all the younger guys and injuries they've had so far this season. Also, sticking with the St. Louis Blues, Sammy Blais out day to day right now. The Nashville Predators, Philippe Forsberg and Matt Duchene are both dealing with lower body injuries. Heading to Florida, Michael Matheson's out 10 to 14 days. And they also have Vincent Trocheck that's out day to day. The Detroit Red Wings were also hit pretty bad with injuries. Luke Glendening's out 2 to 4 weeks. Danny DeKeyser's out 2 weeks. And they also got Justin Abdelkader and Adam Earn out on injured reserve as well. And then the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Murphy, who missed the season or the start of the season with an injury, is out for the next 2 weeks with a groin injury. And then just some updates on the Vegas guys. Alex Tuck and Anit Schmidt are expected to practice this week. And Austin Zarnik was put on long-term injured reserve with the Calgary Flames. And last but not least, Josh Archibald will be out 2 to 4 weeks with a foot fracture with the Edmonton Oilers. A lot of their depth wingers have been going down with injury as they had Joakim Nygard last week go out for the same amount of time with a rib injury.
Lots of injuries. Some of them are going to affect a lot of people's hockey pools. But obviously their teams. So
yeah, I'm just happy my team hasn't been affected yet. So
I am in the same boat. I'm actually pretty good right now in my pool, but it's definitely when guys like Tarasenko and Rantanen drop for any length of time, you're going to feel it. And now, like you said, Matt Duchene's down. You have a handful of guys that have come back as well now, right?
Yeah. So a couple of guys. Matt Zuccarello returned for the Minnesota Wild. Joel Armia, he missed a couple of games for Montreal. He's come back. Casey Cizikas with the Islanders. Will Butcher with the New Jersey Devils. And these guys, they haven't returned to the NHL, but Noah Juleson is playing in his first game since December 27th of last season he's making his first game in the AHL. So best of luck to him, a local kid here on that front. And Gabe Velarde, the LA Kings first-round draft pick. He's not near game action yet, but he is practicing in full equipment, sort of by himself, as he's been dealing with all those back problems since his draft season, basically. So that's good on that front, that he's getting back on the ice, and he's going to be reevaluated at the end of this week and go from there. And just a couple of players that got sent to the minors. Jonathan Erickson with the Detroit Red Wings was activated from injured reserve, put on waivers, and sent down to the minors. And with the Canucks, Adam Gaudette was also sent down to the minors.
Yeah, good chance for that for Gaudette to get some ice time. Washington comes into Vancouver tonight. They're on a roll, top of the Metropolitan Division. Vancouver's on a roll, winners of 6 of 7. I'm looking forward to that game. But what kind of surprises has the Capitals brought so far this year? And are they really surprises?
Well, you gotta say John Carlson's still leading the league in points. 12 games, 5 goals, 21 points. The crazy stat that I saw. So we're 23 days into the season, and he is the first defenseman since Bobby Orr in the 69-70 season to be leading the entire league outright in points after the first 23 days of the season. So you gotta give props to him. Alexander Ovechkin, another two goals last night against the Oilers, up to 9 on the season, and one of them came on the power play, and he passed Brett Hull for first place all time for road power play goals with 125, and his next goal will tie him with Luc Robitaille for 12th all time. He's now sitting at 667 career goals. And I actually liked Braden Holtby's game the last couple of games. I know he got off to an awful start. We'll be seeing Ilya Samsonov in net tonight, and he's actually been off to an excellent start. But yeah, and then of course the Caps power play is just it's it's one of the best.
Power play is disgusting, but another team that I've been super excited to be watching this year so far is the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, what can you say about them? They're now 7-1-1, about to become 8-1-1 as they're destroying Vegas tonight. But I think a lot of people saw this coming with the youth that they have, the amount of talent that they have with their youth, and adding some depth this year. They've just they're absolutely starting to destroy teams.
Oh yeah, so like guys like Andre Burakovsky. Already has like 4 goals and 8 points this season. Nazem Kadri is starting to heat up. I know he's got, I think, another couple goals tonight as well. And especially with Mikko Rantanen going down with injury, they're going to need those guys to step up to fill that point total. And then they're getting the goaltending as well between Grubauer and Francouz in net.
Somehow the Edmonton Oilers continue to win. They were down 3-1 last night to Washington. And then 2 guys that someone may have heard of named Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl kind of took the team on their back, playing every second shift down the stretch of the third period, and then, of course, winning it in overtime. And I think they were both in on all 3 of the goal to get them within 1, the tying goal, and the game winner. But they're 8-2-1 right now. And without the goaltending, I think a lot of people didn't think they'd be there, but they seem to be getting it done.
Yeah. So I think both McDavid and Draisaitl had 3-point games last night. I watched about like from the second half of the game to that overtime. Connor McDavid, like, holy crap, he's just too good. But yeah, you want to talk about the goaltending? Mikko Koskinen, 5-0 to start the season. I think his save percentage is around a little over 920. And Mike Smith isn't that far behind him. But yeah, they just keep getting it done. And those big guns are just absolutely crazy. Like they're just going off, especially with like a weak I still think their defense isn't the greatest. Like I like Darnell Nurse and Oscar Klefbom on that back end, but the way McDavid and Draisaitl are playing, it's just insane. Because like McDavid, that third period, I don't know how many chances he had before he finally tied it late in the period, but it was just over and over again. Like the Caps just had like no answer for him. But yeah, it's still crazy. It's just to be down 3-1 in the third period and come back against a really good Caps team. It just shows where the Oilers are at right now.
I feel like we keep talking about the same teams over and over because they're constantly surprising us. But the Buffalo Sabres are also 8-2-1. They were down the other night to the Sharks, and I thought, oh, here we go. Here's the start of maybe a loss, maybe a few losses in a row. But they found a way to come back and win in overtime.
Yeah.
Much to the chagrin of Logan Couture's comments after the game.
Yeah. So, but they did get killed last night 6-2 by the Rangers. But yeah, in that game, that led to some interesting comments by Logan Couture. because in overtime, Timo Meyer and Kevin Labanc, they took a bad line change, and both guys beforehand have been off to a pretty slow start to the season, which led to Buffalo's overtime winning goal. And he made sure, with Couture becoming captain this year, he made sure to go over with the players and the coaches to make sure what he was about to say to the media and all that. So it didn't come out as a shock to them. But yeah, he called it a selfish play by both of those guys. And so far, the Sharks have actually gone on since after that to get a couple wins going, as I think they're just they're one game below 500 now, as they're starting to turn the ship around. I think.
And
But
they're
yeah.
leading. They're actually leading Toronto right now as we speak, 1-0 in tonight's game, about halfway through the second period. So a tight one there. But Sharks are, they're on the Eastern Road swing right now, and I think it's only a matter of time before they pull it together.
But talk about the hottest team in the NHL right now. You have to go to the New York Islanders, who won their 5th straight game last night. They're now 6-3 on the season, only 1 point back of Carolina for second in the Metro, and they're just sort of getting it done by committee. And I think between Grice and Varlamov, actually after that one bad game, he sort of turned it around.
Coaching, I'm telling you, coaching is everything right now.
Oh yeah! Between that and John Tortorella was he had a couple of nice quotes in the media this week. I think one was where just basically where they were in the standings or what. He just we were supposed to suck this year, weren't we? So there's that. And then for the overtime, I forget they had one overtime, or actually maybe a couple overtime wins in their past couple of games. Where it's just he basically called it absolute dynamite. It's just why are we still going to the shootout sort of thing, and all that, which I agree with them with both. And actually Columbus, they're in the top wild card spot right now. So they're sort of I think with the Islanders last year actually would be a great example where expectations were so low. So anything going above that, you're exceeding that.
Well, his reaction, I can't for the life of me think of the player's name, the young guy that just scored through his legs.
Sonny Milano.
Right, Sonny Milano. I couldn't think of his name for some reason. I was thinking of Sebastian Aho for some reason. But when Sonny Milano scored through his legs there, Tortorella's reaction was priceless, because obviously he hates that stuff, or maybe he's starting to – he's definitely changed over the years, and I've seen a bit of a difference in his coaching, but that's almost all the time we have for today. Why don't I let you have the final word before we end today's show?
Yeah. So I may or may not have highlights up tonight. I'm going to the Vancouver Giants game tonight, getting a nice look at Bowen Byram in the game. They're playing the Everett Silvertips. There isn't many NHL drafted guys.
Carter Hartz.
Yeah, well, their goalie though, Dustin Wolf, he was a 7th-round pick by the Calgary Flames in this past draft. He's actually had a heck of a start of the season. He has a 9.45 save percentage in about 10 games this season. So it'll be a really good test. It'll be my first look at them to start this season. And but yeah, otherwise, I think I'll just be doing top highlights, maybe late tonight. If not, I'll just pass on them, and then tomorrow will also just be the top highlights, because usually Saturdays are pretty busy. But yeah, you can find that all on our Facebook page at B&B Hockey Talk. And thanks for all you guys' support. It's still crazy going from where we were last year to where we are now. It's just been an unbelievable ride, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, remember, like Matt said, B&B Hockey Talk. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Comment below. We'll give you a shout out on the show. And everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday.